Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, or other, and people of all sexualities, to another Doctor Who review. And today's review is a very grave review indeed. For today, we review the Pyramid of Mars. So sit back, keep your sonic screwdrivers to hand, as we dive in for an adventure of great peril. Sorry, that's too much. The Doctor and Sarah Jane Smith arrive in 1911 when they find that a unnatural evil is quaking a house upon a quarry. Soon they learn that the unnatural phenomenon is being controlled by none other than a Mr. Ibrahim in the house, who prays to an old Egyptian god known as Set, or Sutek, as he is known in this story. And Sutek is trying to escape the place in which he has been entombed by Horath, a Egyptian deity who he fought many, many years ago. After killing Horath, the Eye of Horath was locked away, and Sutek entombed in a tomb by the disciples of light. The disciples, his fellow brothers, had believed that Sutek had become crazed with power, and so, in discovering this, the Doctor realizes that Sutek's power is way beyond anything he has ever faced before, and that the universe is at a great peril, one that has not been seen for many centuries. The first appearance of Sutek in this story is when the TARDIS first goes haywire at the beginning of the episode. Sarah Jane Smith looks off into the corner and she sees a horse-like head. As soon as she tries to point it out to the Doctor, the head vanishes and leaves her puzzled and confused. Ibrahim, a disciple who believes in Sutek, summons Sutek from the time portal at which he has been trapped for millennia, but soon learns that it is not Sutek he has summoned. Indeed, it is one of Sutek's followers. Sutek's true disciple appears in front of Ibrahim, and Ibrahim reluctantly decides not to look up at him. And then, when he does and calls out, "I praise thee, Lord Sutek," the mysterious figure, cloaked, presses his hands down on Ibrahim and states, "I am Sutek's true disciple, and he need no other. I bring Sutek's gift of death." Once the disciple emerges, he begins to activate mummies from the sarcophaguses, robot mummies, to do a transaction barrier around the house to produce the pyramid and / rocket that Sutek, once he is free from the Pyramid of Mars, will be able to leave in and command his destruction of all his enemies on each of the pyramids. Sutek has entrusted his disciple in launching rockets to destroy them, but the Doctor has other plans with his friend. After the death of the Professor at the hands of the disciple of Sutek using his brother's face, the Doctor and Sarah Jane decide that it's about time that they thwart Sutek's plans once and for all and stop him from being freed from the vortex in which he is trapped in at the end of time and in the Pyramid of Mars. Sarah Jane manages to shoot the jellied knight that the Doctor and her place at the pyramid structure outside of the quarry house. But at the time, Sutek still has his power over the structure and is holding back the explosion. The Doctor knows that the only way to start the explosion properly is to go and distract Sutek. In doing so, he will risk his own life. But soon the Doctor's plan is thwarted when Sutek realizes exactly what he's going to do because he's 10 steps ahead. The Doctor reaches Sutek's pyramid through the vortex, but soon finds himself encapsulated as Sutek realizes his alien presence and begins to question him. "Who are you, Time Lord?" "I'm known as the Doctor points out to him. The Doctor. And the Doctor soon tries to put his will against Sutek, using his own mind powers to fight Sutek, but Sutek is fighting back and is winning. The Doctor soon finds himself hypnotized and becomes the servant of Sutek, sent back through the time portal to operate the TARDIS. The Doctor is taken to the Pyramid of Mars again, but this time to destroy the Eye of Horus. In destroying the Eye of Horus, Sutek is soon freed from his paralysis. "I'm freed. I'm finally freed. Horus, we shall see who the ruler of the universe is at last." But this was not the Doctor's only plan. The Doctor and Sarah arrive back on Earth just in time to stop Sutek, sending him back through the time tunnel. But in doing so, this means that nothing can stop the house from being destroyed. And the house and the explosion are catastrophic, and the house begins to burn down. But as the Doctor mentions at the beginning of the episode, this house is very important because soon it will later on go to become Unit HQ. So the Pyramid of Mars. What do I give the Pyramid of Mars? Well, personally, I give it a 10 out of 10 because it is a fantastic story, and it's a story in which is very different to many other stories because the Doctor is very powerless in this story. He has no power over what's happening, and he can't control what comes of what is going to happen to the world. He even points out in this story to Sarah Jane Smith how dangerous Sutek is when she asks just to go back to the year 1980, and when they arrive, the whole world is decimated and dead because Sutek has that power. He can bring death. So the Empire of Death came out today, and that's why I thought this episode would be brilliant to make. Also because I thought it'd be a brilliant point to bring up Big Finish's amazing contribution to Gabriel Wolf's Sutek. There's currently a big range going on at the moment. Kill the Doctor is a fantastic story if you want to pick up on what happens after the events of Pyramid of Mars. And then to carry on from that story, you have the Age of Sutek. So basically what's happened in this story, from what I can gather of what I've listened of, the Doctor and Leela land in a society full of people who are controlled by technology on status and the way they clothed and everything. And the Doctor and Leela must stop Sutek from taking over. But after the events of Kill the Doctor, they are trapped, and it seems that Sutek has indeed won. He has created the world in his own image and has become the ruler of this new society, brainwashing people through the power of technology. Then there's another story, Beneath Summerfield, The Adventures of Beneath Summerfield, Volume 2. There is the Pyramid of Sutek, where the Seventh Doctor is literally hypnotized by Sutek, and Sutek has given the Doctor the power of death in his hands, and there's nothing the Doctor can do to control it. And then there's the Eye of Horus, where Bernice has been sent back in time to give the Eye of Horus to the Doctor in order to stop Sutek, but Sutek has, you might as well say he's got this elemental force in this story, because he turns up in Egypt, but he cannot enter the temple without being let in by a Egyptian king or queen, and King Tut at the time literally allows Sutek to come in to the temple, and Sutek begins to cause all manic of horrors, and he becomes the new king of the kingdom and basically kind of sidelines Tut as the story progresses. And then there are the Tears of Isis, a fantastic story with a whopper of a twist. Sutek takes over this society, this world, and basically kind of tortures his own cult into believing he is the deity and he is who they should praise, but also admitting to the fact that he will snatch them up like that and erase them from history. This story is brilliant because the Doctor folds it in on Sutekh and then explains to Sutekh that the planet he has conquered was already dead. In a nutshell, he literally kind of does a Curse of Fenric on Sutekh and absolutely twists it on him. Leaves everyone else baffled, and Isis slowly begins to re-bring Sutekh, the world Sutekh has left for dust, to life, or the world that Sutekh believes he has left for dust to life, and Sutekh is then scattered out into distant vortex, in which kind of leads into the episode I will be talking about either tomorrow or Monday or sometime this week. I will be making a review on the Empire of Death. What a phenomenal episode. I'm not going to get into it now because of spoilers and stuff, but I do highly recommend checking out some of these big finishes as well, just to give you a varied range on the different types of stories Sutekh has been in. Now, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I've enjoyed making it, so leave a like, maybe subscribe, and I'll make another review like this. Until the next time, stay beautiful.